All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. It's time for another deep dive. And, today we're going kind of deep.
Yeah.
We're tackling Søren Kierkegaard. Have you heard of him?
Oh, yeah. Big fan.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So this is some serious philosophical, theological stuff.
Yeah.
We're looking at his 3 discourses at the communion on Fridays,
Okay.
which he published way back in 1849.
Right.
So these were basically like little reflections for people to kind of think about during communion.
Yeah. So it's like, the Christian sacrament, you're taking the bread and the wine.
Yeah.
And he wanted people to have something to really reflect on.
Really go deep.
Yeah. During that time.
Yeah. And even if you're not, super religious or whatever, I think these ideas are still, they still hit pretty hard.
Definitely.
They're about humility and forgiveness and love that goes beyond death.
Yeah. Some big themes.
Yeah. It's big stuff.
It is.
So are you ready to
Let's jump in.
to get philosophical? I'm ready.
All right. So tell me a little bit about these discourses. Like, what's the setup?
So these discourses, right? But they weren't like a big theological treatise or something.
Okay.
They were really meant for personal meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like Kierkegaard's way of inviting people to connect with their faith on a much deeper level.
Okay, so like a personal journal almost.
Kind of like a super intense personal journal.
Okay. So we got 3 discourses to get through here.
Right.
We've got the high priest, the publican, the woman who was the sinner.
Okay.
We've got love will hide a multitude of sins, and the work of love in remembering one dead.
All right, so each one kind of has its own focus.
Right.
But they all kind of come back to this idea of communion as a time for serious reflection.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? It's not just about going through the motions.
But it's not just the ritual. It's like what's going on inside.
It's the meaning behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with that first one.
The high priest, the publican,
Yeah.
the woman who is a sinner.
Yeah. So this one really sets the stage for the whole thing.
Okay.
And he uses these figures, right? These biblical figures to highlight this idea of humility.
Okay.
So you've got the high priest, right?
Right.
He's all about his own righteousness.
Oh, yeah. I know the type.
He's up there. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything right.
Perfect.
But then you have the publican and the woman who was a sinner.
Right.
And they come to God with total humility.
Oh,
They're like, we are messed up.
Yeah.
We know it.
Yeah.
We need your grace.
Wow.
And Kierkegaard's saying that humility, that awareness of our own imperfections, that's the key to actually receiving grace.
It's like that's the first step.
It is.
To everything.
Yeah. You got to recognize where you're at
Yeah.
before you can move forward.
I feel like that's a pretty powerful message.
Yeah.
Especially like today, where it's all about
It's all about
promoting ourselves,
being perfect.
being perfect, and putting on a show.
Yeah, the Instagram life.
Right, exactly.
The curated life.
Yeah, it's like maybe we've forgotten about humility a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we could all use a little bit more of that.
A little dose of Kierkegaard, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first discourse.
Okay.
The second one,
Yeah.
love will hide a multitude of sins.
So this is where it gets really interesting
Flip
because
it.
it's like, okay,
You've admitted your flaws.
yeah, you've acknowledged your imperfections.
Right.
Now,
Where do you go from there?
where do you go from there? And Kierkegaard's answer is love,
Okay.
but he doesn't mean love as just like this passive feeling.
Okay.
He's talking about love as this active force
Okay.
that can actually heal the wounds of sin.
So it's like love in action.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
putting love into practice.
Right.
And a big part of that is forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Yeah. Kierkegaard emphasizes that forgiveness is essential in our relationship with God
Okay.
and in our relationships with each other.
So it's like two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't have one without the other.
And he actually quotes the Lord's Prayer
He does.
in this discourse.
You know that part where we say, forgive us our debts
Yeah.
as we forgive our debtors?
Yeah.
He's saying you can't expect forgiveness from God if you're not willing to give it to other people.
Other people, yeah.
It's like this reciprocal thing.
Yeah, it's a powerful idea.
Yeah.
But I imagine that's pretty tough to put into practice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, forgiveness is hard,
It's really hard.
especially when you've been hurt.
Especially when you've been deeply hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It means letting go of that pain.
Letting go of the resentment.
Yeah, that bitterness.
But Kierkegaard's saying that's where the healing begins.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
It's like you're breaking this cycle
Breaking the cycle.
of hurt and resentment.
Yeah.
And then you're creating space for love to come in.
Okay, so
Yeah.
First discourse, humility.
Yeah.
Second discourse, love and forgiveness.
Yeah.
Third discourse,
Right.
the work of love in remembering one dead.
This one's
a little different.
Yeah.
Seems a little different, but maybe it's all connected.
Oh, it's definitely connected.
Okay.
So here, Kierkegaard's talking about how love goes beyond death.
Okay.
He doesn't want us to just like wallow in grief when someone we love dies.
Right.
He wants us to remember them with love, to celebrate their lives, to keep their memory alive.
So it's not about forgetting. It's about finding a way to keep that love alive.
Exactly.
Even after they're gone.
It's like love never really dies.
So how do you do that? How do you actually... What's his advice on that?
So he talks about actively engaging with their memory.
Okay.
Tell their stories.
Yeah.
Reflect on their values, the things that made them special.
Okay.
And, maybe even try to live your life in a way that honors their memory.
Yeah.
Like carry their love forward.
Carry it forward.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
It is.
It's like you're turning mourning into this celebration of life and love.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how we can keep those we've lost alive in our hearts.
Yeah, and it all comes back to that idea from the second discourse.
Right.
That love never really dies.
So we've covered some pretty heavy stuff here.
We have.
From finding humility to embracing forgiveness to keeping love alive even after death.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
But it's all incredibly relevant.
Yeah.
Even today.
Definitely.
I mean, Kierkegaard may have been writing about communion back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
But these ideas about how to live a meaningful life.
Yeah.
How to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stuff that we're still grappling with today.
Absolutely.
So maybe as you're going about your day today, ask yourself, where can I practice a little more humility?
Good question.
Who do I need to forgive?
Yeah.
And how can I keep the love of those I've lost alive in my heart?
Powerful questions.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been great.
It's been really great exploring these ideas with you.
Likewise.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See you later. Bye.